What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. And the reason you clicked on the thumbnail, we're going to talk about my post-game reaction to the Buffalo Bills versus the Green Bay Packers. Man, what a night, what a night, what a night. And if you're a Packers fan, it ain't a good night for you. Folks, I'm going to unbiasedly going to take and swallow my pride as a Fins fan and talk about these Buffalo Bills and just how magnificent they are. Let's talk about that first half. Bills did what they want when they wanted. It's the equivalent of a senior in high school beating up a third grader. The third grader may have a swing or two at the most, but in reality, senior in high school is going to pretty much have this whole thing under control. Not once in this game did I ever take and think that the Green Bay Packers were ever going to take and win. Aaron Rodgers is pretty much gassed at this point in his career. This last little 3-year contract he signed is essentially it's a money grab, essentially, for him. And you know what? The Packers, man, they have good players on their team. But when you have a diva like Aaron Rodgers, man, who he has an arm, but he's just an underachiever. You know, it's like I'm sure y'all have seen athletes in the past in the NFL, or maybe even knew them personally in real life, where they could go so much more further, but because they have a poor work ethic, that's where they peak. They peak right there, right where you expect them to. I'll be honest with you, man. I had the Packers probably winning maybe like 9 games this year. I'd be shocked if they won 6 games this year. Packers, I'm about to touch on the Bills here in a minute and, say how great they are in just a moment. But for the Packers, their best bet at this point of the year is to tank and get a quarterback who wants to take and be in there. Now, I've said this time and time again. I love using the Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson example, because Matt Flynn at one point in time was the better quarterback coming to be the starting quarterback many, many, many years ago. I think 10 years ago now, just about, for the Seattle Seahawks. Then they drafted a guy in the 3rd round, probably just for depth, probably just to be a backup, by the name of Russell Wilson, coming out of Wisconsin. And he goes on to have a fire camp and ends up being the starting quarterback, and the rest is history. They become Super Bowl champs within 5 years. That being said, Matt Flynn has the better arm. But my whole thing, and the point I'm going with this, not to be all around the cat's tail, is that the Packers could get somebody who really wants to be quarterback, who could really help for this team to win. They don't have terrible wide receivers. They have a banged-up receiver core. Davante Adams is gone. But even before, Davante Adams should have never been your main reason why you guys were taking and winning, right? You have Aaron Jones. I mean, I'm not crazy about Matt Flynn. I don't think he's that great of a play caller. He doesn't wow me. Show me one game where, he went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs and won 45-40. You can't say that. You can say about Tua Tagovailoa and Josh Allen going toe-to-toe. Sure, absolutely. But that being said, let's talk about these Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are in the power rankings right now, they're the number 1 team in the NFL, and they're going to remain the number 1 team in the NFL, not the Philadelphia Eagles. Reason why the Bills are the number 1 team in the NFL right now is because look who they've played and look who the Eagles have played. Eagles have played good teams, not taking nothing away from them, but I want to see the Eagles take and win against a team like the Buffalo Bills or even the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Bills are all that in the bag of chips. They've had a pretty tough schedule. Now, in this game, there wasn't in the second half when the Buffalo Bills started to take and come back. Honestly, in my opinion, I think they got a little conservative. They took their foot off the pedal. They let the Packers in to an extent. They had some good plays in there, but when you're beating them that bad, you don't want your guys out there. I just felt like they should have kept the foot on the pedal a little bit longer, because that's how Miami Dolphins ultimately came back and beat them earlier in the year. But I'll say this, man, Buffalo Bills are the real deal. They are the real deal. And if the Super Bowl was to happen today, I have it Buffalo Bills probably versus the 49ers or something like that. They're a very, 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 very good team. Now, that being said, man, it was nice to see Jair Alexander and Stephon Diggs go at it. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. You got to love the game of football, man. And that DAWG that I'm always talking about, dog. You got to take and love the aggressiveness, the aggressive nature out of these players, man. It's truly, truly, truly a beautiful thing. It truly is. And then, I want to talk about the inactives too. Alan Lazard out with the shoulder. Jonathan Ford, Elgin Jenkins, Luke Tenuta, Jonathan Garvin, Shamar, Gene Charles. These are some of the people out for the Packers, but even if they were in, the Bills are just that much more of a better team. They're that much more of a better coached team. They have all the intangibles, what it takes to win and ultimately be a Super Bowl champion in this NFL. They absolutely do. Now, Josh Allen threw some ugly picks at the end there. I'm not gonna hold that against him. I mean, we know what he could do. We know he could get passes into very, very tight pockets of time. Honestly, I just feel like for them, they should have kept the pedal on in the third quarter. Third quarter should have kept it on, and at the top of the fourth quarter, man, like literally beat your enemy till they can't move anymore. Beat them so bad. Even when Aaron Jones was running, he had some nice plays, and then AJ Dillon had that beast run. I mean, they just took over. But where was that in the first half? I really didn't see too much of that. I mean, a little here and there, but I didn't see a whole lot of that. If I'm being completely honest with you, right? So I don't know, man. Bills did their thing. Bills came, saw, conquered. They did what they want when they wanted to. Josh Allen made the throws that were important. He had some crappy throws. That crap quarterback. He just, I don't know. Sometimes when he does that rollout, he sometimes tends to overthrow players, kind of thing. So, but 2 interceptions, man. Not gonna hold that against him, man. The dude did his thing today. Also, as well, I want to talk about the Matt Milano tackle in the fourth quarter. And please follow me on Twitter. I have the whole video there. Follow me at TouchdownDoug. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. AJ Dillon is a behemoth of a man. He has calf muscles. Like if he fell on an island full of cannibals, he could feed like 15 people. He's a big dude, big physical dude, right? My thing with AJ Dillon, I feel like the angle that Matt Milano tackled him at was not a dirty hit. Personally, I don't think it was a dirty hit. I just don't. Again, Dolphins fan talking here. I'm not here to take and bash the Buffalo Bills. I'm here to take and give my recap of the game. And I don't think the hit on Matt Milano was a dirty hit at all. I just don't. Matt Milano's a beast. This defense, and this is what championship teams do. And obviously playoffs we have later in the year or early next year. But these Buffalo Bills, they've had injuries. They've lost the game already, right? They found ways to win. While other teams will probably just take and find ways to crumble. You know what I mean? And when they win, it's not like, I saw Dolphins do this today, but it's when they win, it's like, oh man, we got a lot of things to take and fix, man. We just focus on the next game. The other team gave it their best. Like they have mission, and a vision. They know what their mission is, and they know what their vision is, right? They know what those 13 seconds meant last year in the playoffs versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And other teams, I don't know if y'all remember a couple years ago when the Atlanta Falcons lost in the Super Bowl versus the New England Patriots. They were never the same team again. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers a couple years ago. They lost in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos. They were never the same team again. What I'm trying to say is that the Bills, this is their pocket in time to win it. They're super dope. Is it possible for them to lose? Yeah, there's a few teams that could really upset them. The Dolphins being one of them. Kansas City Chiefs being one of them. Dolphins they're scrappy, man. They'll almost lose to a team like the Detroit Lions, but then they'll come back and they'll beat some really freaking good teams, right? So that's gonna be a matchup to take and watch later in the year, right? I think the Bills may lose one more game this year as far as regular season goes, but man, what a good ass game, y'all. That was a good freaking game. Now I'm gonna if it's all right with y'all, I'm gonna go over the stats and I'm pulling them up right now on my screen. Now, as y'all know, Buffalo Bills are improving to 6-1. Number 1 team in the NFL. They are freaking scary. And then you had the Packers going down to 3-5. Aaron Rodgers just retired, dude. Like, I'm sure you could probably still date some famous chicks or something like that, but dude just retired. Aaron Rodgers, though, today, let's see here. He threw, I'm trying to pull it up on my screen. Y'all give me just a second. See game tracker. I'm pulling it up on my screen. Y'all give me just a moment as I taking that pulse up. If I can't pull it up, it's all good, man. Y'all know what it is. So Bills taking win 27-17. Josh Allen is 13 for 25, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And that's not like super impressive. I mean, 13 throws for 218 yards, that's not bad. Again, they took the pedal off the metal. Then they had the running game, which is pretty dang good. 4 people got to tote the rock today. Devin Singletary, 14 for 67. Josh Allen, 6 for 49. Longest was 20 yards. Gosh, it's like he's doing that. Cook had a amazing run today. 5 for 35. Had a great day. I think, in my opinion, it's probably the first game, I think, where he's actually shown that he can be a professional football player in this league. He did very good. And then McKenzie, 2 for 2. Just, probably got 1 yard each, it seems like. Then you look at the running game for the Packers. Aaron Jones, 20 attempts, 143 yards. They took him out at the end. That was weird, man. I know they put like Dylan in there and stuff, who also had a good game. I mean, 10 carries, 54 yards. But man, it's just the game plan. I'm not saying it could have been a lot closer, but I still had the Bills taking to win this, no matter which way you ultimately dice it up. You know what I mean? Stephon Diggs, look, I'm a Miami fan, but I got this man on my fantasy football team. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. He did the damn thing. Cook had a huge play. Again, he had such a big game because he looked pretty crappy at the beginning of the year. He's a rookie. He's developing, so we'll cut up some slack. Had 1 reception, 41 yards. That's pretty darn good, if you ask me. Let's see here. Knox, he had a touchdown. He only had had 2 receptions for 10 yards. So not a whole lot to see here, folks. Not a whole lot to see here, folks. Now let's look on defense. Let's see who ultimately did what. Milano had 1 interception, and I think that's it. Yeah, Milano just had 1 interception. And then there was an interception by, I believe that was Rasul Douglas. And then also, I want to say Jair Alexander. Yeah, Jair Alexander had an interception too. It was kind of just sloppy play. I think Josh Allen needs to really clean that up, because little stuff like that, if you don't take it seriously, it's going to come back to bite you in the butt. And teams watch games like this because they realize, like, okay, Packers could have, had they scored and maybe got an onside kick and had timeouts at the freaking end and had better clock management, and they were just a better disciplined team, I could see a universe where Packers could have made this really interesting. But they didn't. They're Packers and they suck. The Bills, they did what they were supposed to. They had some really nice defensive stands. Milano is constantly in Matt Flynn's face. Milano is constantly in Aaron Rodgers' face. And man, it's just good to see you have just dogs, DAWG, just dogs out there on the field, man. Let's look at the stats for Trevor Emmons. Man, 13 tackles. Lord hell mercy. That is pretty dang good, if you ask me, man. Johnson took and had 6 tackles. Hamlin had 4. Milano had 5. Gregor Rousseau had 3. Rousseau is just a beast on the edge, man. And this O-line, it's weird, like, of the Packers, it was once the stable of their team. Every time Aaron Rodgers, even when he had like freebies, man, he was just blowing opportunities, man. Guy needs to retire, man. Bills did exactly what they were supposed to do, man. Exactly what the hell they were supposed to do today. So great freaking win by the Buffalo Bills. That is it. Now, tomorrow night, for those who are listening, I'm going to be doing a live show tomorrow night, Bengals versus Browns. It's crazy because I have a lot of Brown subscribers. Cleveland Browns. That sounded really bad. I have a lot of Cleveland Browns subscribers who are subscribed to this channel. So yes, folks, I know I haven't showed y'all a whole lot of love this year because not a whole lot to see, but I'm gonna show y'all a lot of love tomorrow night. We got a live show, Cleveland Browns versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns could walk away with the dub here, folks. Jamar Chase is probably, more than likely, gonna be out for the season. So Jamar Chase he's out there. I mean, you jacked up your hip, man. I don't see a universe where he takes and comes back this year. Though it is possible, you better have the best doctors on the planet, sir. Then, of course, let's go over the stats for all the games this week. So we have Baltimore versus Tampa. Baltimore walks with a dub. I was gonna do a live show. My bad, y'all. Fell asleep. I am human. 27-22. Denver walks away with the dub, 21-17. Danger Russ was actually dangerous today, and he was dangerous in Duval County, but they weren't doing a whole lot of them Duval chants. That's right. Denver Broncos walk away with the dub today. Then we had Carolina Panthers. Wow, what a good game. 34-37. These Carolina Panthers are just kind of playing really scrappy. They got this new coach who obviously their old coach was fired, but you have the XFL quarterback in there. It's exciting to see what they do. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe they stick with this coach. Maybe they stick with this quarterback. It's way too early to tell, man. Then you got Chicago Bears fans. Y'all have been at me all week because I said that Justin Fields should be benched. Folks, I was talking about that game. He's played pretty good the last 2 weeks. But Dallas, how the heck? Dallas hung 49 points on a Chicago Bears team. I'm not impressed. Dallas is still suspect. They may make it to a wild card, but they would be out by the first game. Then you got the Dolphins losing by 14 points. Detroit is playing scrappy like they were in the beginning of the year, but the Detroit Lions, man, they need to fire their defensive coordinator, man. They need to fire that man. They can't finish games. Simply put, they just cannot finish games at all. Hey, real quick, folks, I know we got 4 people here in the chat. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel to grow. If you want to take and donate, we have all that information down below. You can donate. Helps the channel to grow. Eventually, I'm going to be moving to a new apartment. I'll get some neon lights. I'll get a different background. I had to borrow this from my kids. Hey, we'll go ahead and we will continue the breakdown of the rest of the games. Arizona Cardinals versus the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota pulls it out. Minnesota has 1 loss, but it ain't against this team. 34-26. New Orleans, the very less than mediocre New Orleans win 24-0 over the Raiders, who are just the most suspect team in the planet. Then we had the Jets. Zach Wilson is just an interception machine, makes nice throws at times, but just shows that he still needs a lot of time to grow. Jets lose this one 17-22 versus the New England Patriots. And as we wrap it up, we got Philadelphia. They win 35-13. Huge win by Philly. Beat up a very bad Pittsburgh team. Tennessee Titans pull it out 17-10. San Francisco 49ers beat the Rams 31-14. Giants finally fall. Lord have mercy. When were they going to take and lose? Seattle Seahawks are in major resurgence. They rise to 5-3, 27-13, beating the Giants. And of course, y'all know Buffalo beats the Packers tonight. And the last game I want to take and talk about, my brother Isaac, who is over in Indianapolis right now. He's a huge Commanders fan and also co-host of the show. We have him on time to time. We just got a different schedule, so I don't have him on as much. But he wins Commanders win 17-16. Man, Sam Ehlinger versus Taylor Heineke. Who would have thought that would be a game? This is almost as good as a primetime game, to be honest with you, man. It was just 2 quarterbacks trying to prove themselves, trying to make a name in this National Football League. And what a game it was, man. I really enjoyed that Packers versus Commanders game. I genuinely enjoyed myself. So, anywho, folks, that's all I got here tonight. Bills took and walked away with the dub. They did their thing. Another live show tomorrow night. I know I started this one a little bit late, so I'll be shooting this tomorrow evening. Again, Bengals versus Cleveland Browns. Please be sure to take and be there. Also as well, hit that subscribe button. I know I took and I beat up on the Packers tonight. I got love for y'all Packers, but I just think your time is not now. I think y'all might be lucky if y'all take and win 6 games this year. Get a new quarterback. Have somebody who's passionate about the game. Out with the old, in with the new. Heck, man, put that Jordan Love guy out there, man. Maybe he could do something to spice up this team. The Packers are a lost cause to me. And you have a good night. God bless you guys. I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with like the dopest, illest outro you've ever heard in your life. Shout out to Ill Sense Birth and Waylay Creations for putting this together for your boy. Have a good night. God bless. See you next time.
Touchdown with Doug Smith, celebrate, that's a new move. Heinzman, 2 views, catch him on YouTube. NFL coverage, interviews, who lose, who win, who lose. Comedy, you choose, it's not about moolah. The QB's like Tua is missing in action. No L's on my shooter. Play it like Marino, it's a gamble like casino. Hungry for it, but you know we still gon' try to feed the beef. Rivalries will lead the conference. Cowboys of the Eagles, will Belichick be a threat? Better check. Tomlin on deck, much respect to the vet. What you expect? Gotta tune in for the rest. Make sure to sub, like, check. At the best, bad boy, the sports podcast for the threat across the north, east, south, in the west. Sitting back clueless, time to tune in. Now another sports center, it's a movement.